Victor Time Wolf. Okay, you're back. Do you have audio now?
Yeah, I do. Sorry, I
There we
got
go.
called. As soon as you pulled me in, I got a call, and it's so weird. Um, Regarding the topic, I don't have anything, but except if you we count the right
Wait, you
hand
don't
and the
have, like,
left
your
hand.
wife's boyfriend doesn't have a solution to all this with finances and all
I'm
this?
a single, and I'm happy about it. Unless
Okay.
we're counting left and right hand.
All right. So what
um,
so what do you got for me tonight? You got a question here?
yeah. I read your book back in May, April, and after that, I put it down, breathed out, took a pen and paper, and wrote down the red flags of my previous relationship.
Hmm.
And I noticed that all of this, like 7 out of 10, let's say, red flags have with my mother. So the question is, does man actually like chooses a woman on the red flags as well, like
That's a good
without
question.
knowing?
So there's been some speculation. I can't cite the exact source because I went through this a long time ago, but there's been some speculation that a lot of the times guys will select women, they'll invite women into their lives in relationships or marriages that are very similar to their mother, right? And one of the things that was also speculated, and again, this is, I don't know how accurate this is, but there's discussion along the lines of whenever there was conflict in your household growing up between your parents, you would essentially try to resolve that in your own adult life, right? Like, let's say your dad, I don't know, let's just make something up. Like your dad was sloppy and incompetent, and your mom was a, a fucking relentless bitch, sort of thing. It's like you try to be better than your dad was, more competent, more useful, and then you try to deal with a woman that is too bitchy, and you try to, like, take her down to a place where she's happy. It's like the Captain Save-A-Ho sort of thing, or you're trying to spend your life making an unhappy person happy sort of thing. Like, apparently this is fairly common. I don't know, what the stats are. There's going to be somebody in the comment that's going to be like, yep, just Google this study sort of thing. And, maybe they'll drop it there for us later on. But I think I think you're onto something with that, and you got to be aware of it. Um, I was talking to people about the red flag chapter earlier today in a private Zoom call that I had because I was doing my Zoom Q&A with the business guys in the School of Entrepreneurship. And one of the things that came up was um, identifying what not to do. And I
Mhm.
think in life, with women, with business, and a lot of these things, if you get really, really clear on what you don't want to involve in your life, like if you don't want a hard business, then try to stay away from moving physical products, right? Try to
Mhm.
stay away from businesses that are going to be location dependent to a certain geographic region where you need like a brick and mortar with a neon sign that flashes and turns on when you open up the door, those sorts of things. Same sort of things with women, right? Like if you know that there's patterns of women that are difficult, that are going to add complexity to your life, then don't get into long-term relationships with them. Don't knock them up. Don't put babies in them. Don't marry them. Date them if you want. Maybe friends with benefits, but that's it. Figure them out and then move on to the next one, right? Like as soon as you identify that she's got a bunch of red flags and she's good friends with Mao and she was in the last parade with the red flag bearer sort of thing, just move on from it.
Yeah. My thinking was it's comfortability. Like you find a woman what you're comfortable with as your mother, and basically that's the reason why you like kind of with her. But like
Well,
that's my was
look, I mean, if
thinking
you're
at one
used
time.
to a certain type of woman at the head of the household, that you had some, I mean, you obviously had a lot of exposure to, as a kid, then you're probably less likely to see the red flag, right? Like one of the red flags, number three, is avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Let's say you grew up in a household where your mom was always complaining, we don't have this, and why does Becky have that, and you're cheap, and da 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 da, sort of like just constant complaining for 20 years of your life. If you meet a woman that's unhappy and unlucky, chances are, because you're used to it and maybe you didn't see it, that you just think, well, that's normal. you know a woman should be unhappy and unlucky, and she should always complain about shit, and I should be there to listen to it and be the shoulder crying. So uh, I can see those dots certainly connecting, but I'm not going to analyze that. I'm just going to say, look, just avoid women that are unhappy and unlucky. Simple as that.
Okay. In your
Cool.
practice, I mean, when you was doing it with interviews with other guys, you did notice the same thing, like happening.
I never really. You'll never see me say anything like, "So, what was your relationship like?" With your mother, or anything like that. I'm not a therapist. I'm not qualified to deal with that shit. And to be honest with you, I don't really fucking care to be like.
Mm.
I find a lot of therapists aren't that useful, to be perfectly honest, and they probably don't do that much good. And they have this sort of subscription model where they want you to keep coming back to go through session and session and session. That's how they make their money. So, my philosophy is simply identify the problem and stay away from it. If she's a rabid feminist, don't marry her. If she's, shitty with money and has lots of debt, that's not your problem. She's violent. She throws shit at people, knives, glass jars. Fuck that. I don't want anything to do with that. Right. I don't really care what her relationship is with her mother or why she behaves that way. I just know that it's a problem and I don't want her problem in my life. Don't make your problems my problems. Right. That's why I don't go to the whole, well, tell me about your childhood and what your relationship was with your mother and father. I don't do that shit because I think that's a waste of time.
Okay, makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much.
All right, Vic. See you, buddy. Hey guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that short clip. If you did, consider supporting the creation of content by checking out my supplement line. Pinned in the top comment below of this video in the comments, there's a link to the unpluggedalpha.com/shop. When you click through, you'll be able to land over here, and the entire lineup is broken down by category that it performs best in: estrogen metabolism, fat burning, your foundational essentials for health, immune health, performance, and testosterone support. If you check out with coupon code ALPHA10, you'll get 10% off on your first order. There's also the option to use the subscribe and save model, where regular shipments will be sent over to you on a regular basis, and that gives you a little bit of a discount, and your supplement facts are always broken down over here. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And again, check out that link. It's pinned in the top comment below in this video. Peace out.